Well, first of all, congratulations. How are you feeling?
I feel real great. It's cool to come here to see you guys because whenever you come here, you know you won. So I feel real good, and I had a lot of fun out there. To tell you the truth, it was I really felt like myself out there, and I just had a fucking great time, honestly.
Do you feel like having fun was part of the key to your victory?
Yeah, I think it was a big thing. And when I say fun, because I think some people, when they say it's just go out there, have fun, it's like almost like they don't care to win or lose. But no, like I wanted to win. Like it was 100% my mindset. Like I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win. I knew I was gonna win. But the main thing for me to get that victory was to have fun and be myself. You know what I mean? And when I say like have fun, be myself, it's like I do this every day. I kept like telling people. I told myself this. I do this every day in the gym. Like I fight every day in the gym. Like hard spars all the time in the gym in Mexico, in California. I do it every day. The only difference is I'm doing it at a different arena with people watching, the media watching, the UFC company watching. That's the only difference. So outside of that, it's on you to show up and being you. And I feel like I really did that tonight.
I mean, to someone like me, that seems like a really big difference, having all those elements. How do you kind of block that out?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, I've been doing this a long time. Like, since 5 years old, I've been doing jiu-jitsu, so I have a lot of competitive experience. And I think the older I'm getting, I'm becoming more mature and wiser, you know what I mean? Where I think when I was younger, I never really, it's like, nah, I don't need to do all this. I'll just train and do the physical work, you know what I mean? And it's easy to do the physical work because nowadays, I think the difference in fighting, everybody's doing the physical work. It's easy to do the physical work, but it's not easy to do the mental work, you know what I mean? It's real easy to try to sit there, do the mental work, and fade away and like, oh, I don't need this. But it's super important. I feel like I come to that maturity where I'm putting in the mental work, and I think that's what separates greats from average people is they put in the mental work. They're not only doing the hours in the gym, but they're sitting there and understanding who they really are.
And you mentioned the mental work. I have to imagine that there was mental work that had to happen after your last loss. Can you talk to me about that a little bit?
Yeah, I've always felt like I was like I've been a confident person, you know what I mean? But I never really sat down and did the mental work because I always felt like I had that confidence. I was never a shy kid or anything like that. But after that fight, I had to really sit down and like understand myself, you know what I mean? And the key I took away from the last fight is you gotta stay focused in your work, you know what I mean? You gotta stay true to yourself. At the end of the day, you're a professional, and anything that's not there to help you in life, whether it be outside in the gym, if it's not there to make you better, you don't need that fucking shit in your life, you know what I mean? And I felt like it's something I really had to do, things that weren't helping me, you know what I mean? Not just people, anything. It's not helping me improving what I want to do, I don't need it. And I really sat down and really had to find my way, you know what I mean? I'm very big into the way, and I had to find my way, and I think it helped me a lot to put my mental and physical work together and get the win here tonight.
And speaking of this win, how would you rate this performance overall?
I got to sit back and watch the fight, you know what I mean? So when I do that, I'll be able to do that. But I mean, it was fun in there. I enjoyed every second of it, you know what I mean? I think there are some things I definitely could do better. But Ludwig's a tough guy. I knew that coming in. Very durable. He's never been finished in his career. I wanted to get the finish on him, but I knew I couldn't put too much emphasis on getting the finish. It was just more being efficient with my game, and I felt that's what I needed to do to get the win. Because I didn't want to go out there and try to finish this guy. He's still there, and then I gas out, you know what I mean? This is a fight, you know what I mean? You finish him, cool. You don't, it doesn't matter. And I enjoyed it in there, you know what I mean? Fighting is what I love to do, and when the fight's over, it's more like, fuck, that sucks. I got to wait to do that again. But I really had fun in there.
And having gone 3 rounds with him, was there anything about him that surprised you?
No, he's just a tough guy, you know what I mean? I knew that coming in. Me and him seen each other a lot at the PI during this lead up to this fight. So I think there was a lot of respect between the two of us. But I knew when I was locked in there with him, it's like I had respect for him, but he's not my friend, you know what I mean? I'm out there to hurt him, he's out there to hurt me. I think we both understood that. And I think that's why he was frustrated after the win. And, you know, nobody likes losing. We come here to win. We put in a lot of work. We're at the highest level of our sport, the UFC, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of emotions that go into it. But tonight, it was my night. I knew it was my night leading up to this fight, all the preparation. And I wish him nothing but the best. And I hope he could get another crack in the UFC and get a win and really showcase who he is.
Do you prefer not seeing your opponent before a fight like that, or does it really matter?
It doesn't matter. I mean, it's really how you view it, you know what I mean? That's the first time I've seen an opponent before a fight, you know what I mean? And that's the thing about the PI, too. It's a cool place. They help you, resources, but you got to see all these fighters there, you know what I mean? That's the downfall. There's a lot of fucking little snakes in the PI, man. They're always watching, acting like they're your friend. Those guys ain't your fucking friend, you know what I mean? And I understand, like, what time it is. The only people that are my friends are my corner over there leading up to this fight, you know, teacher Raul, my brother Alan, my dad, John Munoz. Those are my friends. Those are the people I could trust. And always my training partners back in TJ, North California and Vegas too. Those are the people that are my friends. So, but yeah.
And what's next for you? Do you have a date in mind that you'd like to fight again, or a name?
You know, I'm gonna take the Dana White approach. I don't make fights on the day of the fight. But I'm gonna go, you know, talk to my team, my corner, my manager, and see what's next. But yeah, I want to get in there. You know, it would be cool early next year, honestly. Fight camps are hard. This fight camp was very hard. And people that don't know, I travel a lot to train between Mexico, California, Vegas. So it's very hard, you know, mentally, physically. But I know what I signed up for, and I could do it. You know what I mean? That's why I'm the man. You know, everybody wants to say they're the man, but to be the man, you got to be able to handle the pressure and carry a lot of weight on your shoulders. And I'm strong enough to be the man.
Hey, Johnny, was that the last fight on your contract?
Yes.
How, I guess, did that play anything coming into that fight? Like, was there pressure on your shoulders?
I mean, no. I mean, I had pressure, but I was trying not to think about that. You know what I mean? I feel a lot of guys, they think, oh, you know, I got to go out there and win. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I like fighting here, and the most important thing is me out of everything. You know what I mean? You know, the company, I love fighting here, but at the end of the day, I'm more important. You know what I mean? You know, anybody, I'm a very selfish person, and you have to be if you want to be great. And I felt the big thing for me is like, fuck all that, you know what I mean? I don't care about that noise. I got to show up and be me, because I know if I can show up and be myself, all the other things are just going to add up right there. But if I only focus like, oh, this is my last fight on my contract, I got to win, and I'm not focused about the other things, then it doesn't flow smooth like that. But if I just go there, put the mental, the physical work, and show up being Johnny Munoz, everything else is going to fall into place.
With that being said, would you like to stay with the UFC?
Of course, I love fighting here. There's no better organization, you know what I mean? I know a lot of people say this and that, but this is where I've always wanted to be since I was a kid. I knew I wanted to fight. I started training jiu-jitsu at 5, fucking hated it, would cry. But then at 8, 9 years old, like, I just knew I really loved it. Watching Pride fight in UFC, always visualized myself being here. That's why when I got here, it wasn't like a party for me. I knew I would be here, you know what I mean? I always knew. So it was expected. And now it's just, you know, just winning and climbing up the ladder, because it's great to get the win, but I'm still not happy, you know what I mean? For me to be happy, I want to accomplish my goal, my dream, and that's being the best in the world.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Hey, Johnny, you mentioned snakes at the UFC training facility. What do you mean by that?
I mean, I'm a very real person, man. You know what I mean? It's just there's a lot of fake people in the world. They act like they're your friends, or they act like, oh, you know, like, what are you doing over here? You can't trust nobody in this game, you know what I mean? I have a lot of respect for fighters, but there's a certain respect, you know, and I keep my distance from people. But it's just, there's a lot of, like, everybody who tries to be your buddy, and then, I mean, you see it all the time throughout sports. I'm going to be this guy's buddy, and then end up fighting them later. And I know you have to do that, but it's just like, I don't need to have a lot of friends in the sport, you know what I mean? I have my corner, and I have a small circle. That's good enough. So anyone else, like, I keep it very cordial, respectful, cool, but just stay out of my circle, because I know when there's real and fake people around.
Okay, so you don't You don't think people are sharing information from training sessions?
Oh,
with other people?
people do it all the time at the PI, you know what I mean? Like all those guys, like they're watching, you know what I mean? You see everybody just kind of looking, you know what I mean? And or they try to get into the training session somehow, you know what I mean? It's like, man, why is this guy here? Like this guy's he's not a real one, you know what I mean? He's not there grinding with us every day, but he sees, oh, like, you know, so and so's here. I don't want to mention names, but like, you know, big names are here, and I want to be in that group. Like, you know, get over there, stay in your lane. You know, we had to work hard to get here. You don't belong here.
And in your post-fight comments, you brought up Elon Musk and Trump. What inspired you to say those words?
No, you know, I was playing Call of Duty on the day, I think before I came to Fight Week, and you know, Call of Duty gets very, if you're on the mic, you know, you talk a lot of shit on there, you know what I mean? It was just something I said after I won a game with a buddy of mine, and I was like, I'm gonna say that shit after the post-fight, and you know, and I'm not big into politics. I think you need to be right in the middle, but I just feel like what's going on right now in the United States, a lot of people need to wake up and realize what's really going on and who's in charge, who's controlling here, and even though you may say what you want about Elon and Donald Trump, you know what I mean? I don't go to bed with those guys. I don't praise those guys, but I think it's better to be on their side than what's going on right now in this country.
Do you feel that there is a problem with the flow of information and who's able to speak freely?
Bro, how are you going to take Trump off Twitter for saying a mean tweet? You know what I mean? When those mean tweets were going out, people were being checked. Leaders around the world were fucking shitting their pants. You take him off, now everyone's getting ballsy all over the world. And the thing is, you're going to take the president of the United States off Twitter when you have the Taliban on Twitter. It makes no sense to me. You know what I mean? The Taliban are like bombing people, you know, killing people. You know what I mean? I really don't understand that. You know what I mean? I lost a student of mine, Kareem Nakui, in those Afghanistan attacks. That was bullshit. You know what I mean? That shit should have never happened. And the way it went about, you know what I mean? That kid would always message me before my fights, you know what I mean? Like, I was like his big role model, and it was very, like, when that happened, it was very disgusting in my heart, and this is why I feel the way I feel, and I've always felt that way, but when that happened, it really struck close to home.
So one of your students died in the Afghanistan pullout?
Yes, he died, and he's from Norco, California, and because I teach jiu-jitsu, so I'd known the kid since he was 12, 13, and he was a funny kid, you know what I mean? He always wanted to fight. He wanted to be here one day, UFC, and he'd always message me before all my fights. I have messages of him in my Instagram, and he always he would make little highlight videos of me for my fights, all that. And he was just a good kid, you know what I mean? He was a little turd, a little shithead, but he meant well, and I know he's looking down laughing at that, you know what I mean? I always talk shit to the kid, but it was always love, and it's just sad the way that went down, so.
Yeah, sorry to hear about that. That's tragic. Elon Musk, how would you rate him in his first days as the CEO of Twitter?
I mean, we'll see what he does with the platform. You know, I think he got rid of a lot of people, which was cool. So I know free speech, I think free speech should be allowed, but obviously you do have to monitor that. It's a tough job. That's why I'm sitting over here fighting. I'd rather do this. But yeah, I'm curious to see what he's going to do with the platform. And I hope he's just not all talk like all these other guys and actually does good for people, you know what I mean? Not just the United States, but for people in general as a whole.
Congrats on the win.
Thank you so much. Good? Thank you guys.